Hi, and welcome to our Friday program. It's the 26th of July, and thank you very much for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date with things happening around Thailand. It's also the start today of another long weekend this month, this time celebrating His Majesty's birthday. A bit more about that later. Tomorrow we'll also be doing our program, live program. And I haven't quite decided what I'm going to be talking about yet, but be something that you want to talk about, because that's the idea of doing the Saturday program. You and me having a chat usually goes for an hour. Starts at 9 a.m. Thai time. If you're new to the channel, we'd love to have you along to join us in our sort of completely unplanned 1 hour every Saturday morning. Okay, a few follow-ups, and the first one is a bit of a follow-up that all really happened in one day yesterday. Australian Sikh son in Phuket finds him quickly in Bangkok, and an Australian father came to Thailand to search for his son, fearing danger after 15 days without contact and pleas for help. Shortly after the news was published, he received information that his son was in Bangkok. And the Geelong Police Station said they received a plea for help back on July 23 from Mr Darren, a 55-year-old Australian man, looking for his son, specifically in Phuket. He's 28 years old and described in this article as Mr Kieran. He said that his son had been out of contact for over 15 days after travelling to Thailand on the 1st of July. The last known location was in Bangkok, and according to his schedule, he should have been in Phuket by now. But there'd been no contact with the son. Now we now go to phuket-go.com and an update to the story about the father flying to Phuket to find his missing son. And the father reports that he's located his son in Bangkok after spending the past 2 weeks. And despite locating his son, the father still fears for his son's safety, as Kieran's refusing to speak about his missing status. And the father said, "We found him in Bangkok, but he won't talk to us. We're very worried about his safety at the moment." So we can only hope that Kieran does reunite with his father and family and they can sort things out. Okay, another follow-up, all starting with that great big sign up around the Dindang intersection, the great big Chinese sign, and the Bangkok Post reporting new arrest in passports for sale case. And the husband of the woman who commissioned a controversial Chinese language billboard advertising foreign passports for sale in Bangkok was arrested at the Don Mueang airport on Wednesday as he's wanted on a warrant issued in China. And Chin Lang, 33, had been in the Immigration Bureau's surveillance system after an arrest warrant was issued by Chinese authorities for ID card fraud. Mr Chin is the husband of Su Na, who's 35, who was arrested on Tuesday in connection with the billboard that had drawn considerable attention in Hua Quang district of the capital. So the billboards may have said, "Hey, we're Chinese and we're doing something dodgy." But it looks like the police are following up a few more of these great big billboards as well. And just before we go on, a big thanks to Sue and Derek, who contacted me a few weeks ago, and they've made a big donation to the program, and it's much appreciated. Sue and Derek are wishing you well in your travels to and from Thailand, and if you're ever around Tham Luang, I'd love to shout you a coffee. Thank you very much for your kind thoughts. Moving on to the next story. And we head to Pattaya and thepattianews.com. Pakistani serial thieves arrested in Phuket for short change artist scams in Pattaya and Phuket. Well, this story sort of moves into the realms of petty theft and small-time scams. And you wonder why people would come all the way to Thailand to conduct such small operations with almost a guarantee that they're going to get caught. And 2 Pakistani nationals were apprehended in Kamala, nice of them to name a town after the US Vice President, after a series of thefts involving a clever 1,000 baht banknote trick. The suspects targeted businesses across Phuket, Pattaya and other provinces. I know you're just dying to know what this scam is. Let's see if we can figure it out. So this is sort of the basis. He engaged the pharmacist in conversation using a 1,000 baht banknote to confuse them. The ruse involved pretending to buy small items, then claiming he didn't want them, resulting in the pharmacist returning the banknote, and the suspect would then change his mind and speak quickly, confusing the cashier, receiving both the items and the change, effectively leaving with the original 1,000 baht note. Basically shortchanging, but the shoe's on the other foot. You would have thought they've tried this 100 times and it's worked 3 or 4, making it worth trying again. The second suspect waited on a motorbike outside the pharmacy, ready to flee. The same tactic was employed at a mini-mart in Kamala and 3 other businesses in Patong. And in June, the duo executed similar scams in Pattaya, and earlier in March, they targeted shops in central Thailand, including Ayutthaya, Angtong and Singbury, according to Thai police. And authorities from multiple provinces have been pursuing the suspects until they were arrested yesterday in Kamala. The thieves claimed they were intoxicated when committing the crimes and that they hadn't meant to con anyone. But Phuket police are warning that these men may be part of a larger network and also could be involved in scams involving short-changing tourists in areas like Phuket and Pattaya, confusing them by asking to help them exchange money and then short-changing the victims instead. Seems to be a pretty small return for a lot of hard work. Let's see if this pair can talk their way out of jail. Now, speaking of scams, this is an extension of the story yesterday. Khao English reporting 100 wanted Thai-Cambodian extradition plan targets call centre gangs. And without going into all the names, basically senior police from Cambodia and Thailand got together on a conference call yesterday to discuss measures to crack down on call centre gangs that have been defrauding the public in both countries. And the meeting yesterday was about sharing information about recent events and the changing context of the threat posed by call centre gangs. They discussed specific locations in Cambodia where these gangs are believed to operate, as well as information on foreign nationals involved in call centre activities. And there were also discussions about Thai criminals who had fled to Cambodia and used it as a base to defraud Thai citizens. And Thailand requested Cambodia's cooperation in extraditing more than 100 Thai nationals who had arrest warrants related to call centre gangs to Thailand to face trial. And just a correction from yesterday, I mentioned the King's Romans Casino in Myanmar, just across the Chiang Rai border in Takilek. Well, actually, it's over the border in Laos. I was thinking of this particular casino, which was spoken about many times before, sort of a hotel, both dressed up to look very grand from the front, but conducting a whole lot of illegal activities inside. Okay, heading to Phuket, and a bit of an ongoing problem with a spike. In reporting from thephuketnews.com, Phuket dengue infection rate spikes. And Phuket's recorded the highest rate of dengue infections in the 7 provinces of upper southern Thailand. And the acting director of disease control for District 11 says there's been a significant rise in dengue fever cases within Health Region 11 from January the 1st to July the 19th. A total of 5,853 cases have been reported. Interestingly, most prevalent in 10 to 14-year-olds, 5 to 9, and 15 to 9-year-olds. And the mosquitoes more prevalent at sunrise and sunset, probably the kids out playing. And Phuket leads the list of provinces with the highest dengue infection rate per 100,000 population, followed by Suratani, Phang, Nakhon Si Thammarat, Krabi, Chumpon and Ranong. And some good bits of advice about dengue: keep your house clean, improve the environment in your house to be tidy, do not allow dark corners, collect garbage around your house and collect water, so close containers with tight lids, change the water in vases, so any areas of collected stagnant water are always a good breeding ground for mosquitoes. And a few reasons you don't want to get dengue. The key symptoms are high fever, headache, pain in the eyeballs, red face, nausea, vomiting, rash, bleeding spots on the torso, arm and legs. And when they're talking about upper southern Thailand, it's sort of this area in the red. That blue dot is where I am in Phang, Phuket to the south, and that's basically Chumpon, Ranong, Suratani, Nakhon Si Thammarat, etc. So far over the last 13 years, I've avoided getting dengue fever. I hope it continues. I've known plenty of people that have had it, and they've had a pretty rough time, so a good thing to avoid. Now, acknowledging our sponsors, 5-Star Marine at 5starmarinephuket.com, as well as Beach House Thailand. Links in the description below so you can find out a special deal if you'd like to get out onto Phang Bay, as well as with Beach House Thailand. We've got a list of the other properties so you can check availability and photos. Now, it's going to be a long weekend this weekend. The TAT are hoping that a lot of Thais will get out and about. We're sort of we're pretty much fully booked for the weekend, but there's a few activities going on. Just randomly picked these two. Royal Thai Navy organises coastal cleanup to honour His Majesty King Maha Vajiralongkorn. The Royal Thai Navy hosted a coastal cleanup event at Hat Namsai Beach, the Naval Special Warfare Command in Satahip, on July 24, celebrating His Majesty King Maha Vajiralongkorn's upcoming 72nd birthday on July the 28th, which will be on Sunday, but Monday is also a public holiday. And the event saw participation from senior naval officers, the Governor of Chonburi, and local government officials. And photos there from PattayandPhuketMail.com. We go to The Nation, and Bangkokians will be invited to see 3 royal barges this weekend. And these are the royal barges which are stored at what is called the Barge Garage, just on the other side of the Chao Phraya River from Bangkok, a place I've been to in the past. And the 3 largest barges will be tied up to pontoons in the Chao Phraya River at the pier. The display will be marked with a recital of the boat song in 2 25-minute sessions per day, and the boats will be on display on Sunday and Monday at the pier in Bangkok's Phra Nakhon district. Beautifully built boats, and I've been very lucky to see them up close at the Royal Barge Garage, just on the opposite side from Bangkok on the Chao Phraya. I recommend that you do the same anytime that you get up to that part of the world. It reminds me of the story of His Majesty's assistant going down to the boats and saying to the crew, well, I've got some good news and some bad news. Well, what's the good news? Well, His Majesty would like to go out on the boats today. Oh, okay, well, what's the bad news? He wants to go water skiing. Yeah, I know. Stick to your day job. So that's it for today's quick whip around Thailand for all the main news stories. Tomorrow, our live program from 9 to 10 Thai time. Look forward to having you there. Any topics, as I said, I don't know what I'm going to be talking about yet. I'll figure it out today, and we'll see you then.